Morning, Saturday, December 14th, 2024. Listen, I got some winners here for you guys, and a lot of them are in college basketball. I got a few good plays when it comes to the FBS playoff system up there in North Dakota and South Dakota. Yesterday, I went 4-6, and unfortunately one of them was just a 3-leg parlay where I lost on 1 point. South Dakota State plus 10. Unfortunately, it was 11. So here's what I want you to do today. Run to the ticket board and take Tennessee. Okay, if you run as fast as you can, you might get it at -1.5 versus the Illinois Fighting Illini. Now, this is what it is because Illinois is way overrated and it's at home, but they're terrible. They're terribly coached, and Tennessee is the real deal this year. You might as well take Tennessee to win the national championship as well, because that's going to have a very high probability of coming through. At the very least, Final Four. So, run to the ticket board. Now, for me, why take it at -1.5, whether your ticketer's giving you -110 or if they're juicing it up to -115, you could just take the money line at -125. So, depends where you get that, but make sure you play that as high as you can to cover all your bets, because that's going to hit. Some football plays in the FBS playoff. Now, this is Division I, North Dakota State at home versus Mercer Bears. Now, they're given plus 23 points. Now, North Dakota State is the real deal, and they have that home Fargo Dome advantage, which is probably at least 7 points. But again, 23 points. You're probably going to have better luck first half because it's going to keep close. But the Mercer Bears are, not to be played around with. Plus 23 is a lot. So I'm going to do a little 2-leg parlay with the FBS football playoff system. I'm going to take the Mercer Bears plus 23. And then on the other side, you got UC Davis versus South Dakota Coyotes. Now, South Dakota's good, but they're not as good as South Dakota State. They're giving UC Davis plus 5. So I parlayed those two, 25 to win 100. It's a good opportunity, a good chance. Now, when it comes to basketball, college basketball, we're going back to where Tennessee is. Tennessee is going to cover all the bets if some wonky Saturday approaches. But the board is hot. A lot of winners. First off, Wisconsin, -4.5 against Butler. Butler just got beat by NDSU. Butler's horrible, right? So Wisconsin can easily cover 4 if you want to take the hook. UCLA Bruins plus 4.5. I love that against Arizona. Arizona's overrated. UCLA Bruins is pretty good. They're 8-2, so you might as well, there's going to be some action. And it's not like UCLA Bruins hasn't played anybody good yet. They've played Oregon. They've played Washington. There's a high probability UCLA wins this out money line. I like an early game, Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, -5 against Murray State. It's a good rivalry. They tend to go back and forth, but whoever's better usually always covers and beats them by big numbers. So -5 isn't high enough. Now, some other beauties I got on the board. We're going to go with Florida State Seminoles over Tulane at Florida State. Florida State's really good. Started off hot, but now kind of slowing down a little bit. But again, Tulane's not going to be able to keep up with them. Alabama Crimson Tide at home against the Blue Jays. There is no way the Blue Jays are going to beat Alabama at home. First off, Creighton is so overrated. They can't shoot unless they're at home. They can't shoot inside the 3-point arc. Now, 11.5 may seem high, but Alabama's going to run the ball, and they're going to run Creighton out of the building. If I was you, I'd just take the money line. But again, that's high. You might be able to tease us with something, but you're going to know that Alabama's going to win the game. Some early games, I like UMass. UMass against Dartmouth against, I don't know. I mean, I think it was -5, maybe it was 6. I think they can cover, but, that's a first half money line for me because I know UMass is going to come out and, you're good either way. I think they'll be able to cover the spread. Now, another beauty on the board is Longwood Lancers at home against North Carolina Central Eagles. They're a good team. It's one of those sneaky teams you look every week and they're covering the money, or they're covering the spread. So jump on them. Last one, I got Rutgers against Seton Hall at home. So Rutgers, Big East, Seton Hall, Big East, and then you got Butler, Big East. Now, when it comes to the Big East, it's always going to be Butler and Seton Hall at the bottom of the standings. And then above them is always going to be Rutgers. Rutgers is a scrappy team, especially at home. I have no problem with them covering. There you have it. You got a lot of winners on the board, and we'll recap.